just keeping this barracks alive for a little bit longer. One grunt being focused down for Grubby, but it looks like it's gonna get away. And meanwhile, TeD doing some nice micro. Obviously, TeD has spectacular fiend micro, and actually a couple creeps being accidentally aggroed. Excuse me, I just need to cough a bit. Sorry about that. It's just swine flu, don't worry. And TeD continuing to do some excellent micro. Obviously, he might want to be on the blade a bit more, but Grubby actually getting a quite nice critical strike there. Doesn't manage to take out the fiend out. There he does. He brings the grunt back just to take it out. And I think TeD should really stick on the blade as much as possible. And Grubby getting another fiend kill there. So very nice there for TeD, or for Grubby. But I think TeD's still in sort of quite a strong position, assuming he can capitalize on his advantage. And TeD producing a fiend from this crypt and from this, so he's just going for 2 crypts fiends. He actually has an extra crypt fiend in his base, probably just from a point where he didn't want to bring it out and have them face all the grunts. And meanwhile, TeD's now just taking out this barracks. So they did quite a while because they only has fiends and a lich, and that they obviously don't do much damage. And Grubby does have another barracks anyway, so it's probably not the end of the world for him. And he's actually setting up another war mill as well. Maybe he's gonna put up some towers and try and play for the longer game, because if TeD scouts this expansion, then it's pretty much over. TeD must realize by now that Grubby has an expansion, even if he hasn't scouted it, because Grubby hasn't been revealed, and it's been more than 2 minutes since the Grubby's old main was killed. And I think TeD does manage to scout it now, and he's probably kicking himself that he didn't scout it earlier. The grunt just being forced to run away a bit, and I think TeD's going to bring in his entire army here and going to try and make one decisive push. And he's probably cast frost armor on a couple more units and just get them to tank a bit, if at all possible. But a very large tier 1 army for TeD here, and excuse me, 1 fiend immediately going down, just because of a bit of block there, and a scroll of protection being used by Grubby, and it looks like he's actually going to go for a surround on the lich. He doesn't quite get it, but it looks like he'll still be able just to chase down with the blade master maybe, while getting his grunts to tank a bit more of the damage. But this isn't going too well for Grubby, despite having the hero level advantage. I think TeD just has so many units at this point that Grubby's really going to need to be microing really well to take this, and he does manage to take out another 2 fiends actually. It looks like a nice round there by TeD, and he does try and cast frost armor on a ghoul, but it is killed anyways. But it does slow the blade master a bit, and it looks like the blade master will get away to the healing fountain, although TeD could just go around and try and get it. And you can see nice micro here by Grubby. He's actually got 2 of his grunts back to the healing fountain just in time, and allowing him to heal up, which is quite nice for him. And meanwhile, Grubby producing headhunters now, which it's quite nice if you have so many grunts that you really are just they're getting in each other's way. Producing a couple headhunters can actually be a bit sensible, and they will obviously have that 1 armor upgrade if nothing else. And Grubby meanwhile speed scrolling and trying to take out this lich again. It is frost armor, but it looks like it does go down, and that's going to mean level 5 on the blade master, which is going to be level 3 critical strike, which is just so strong, especially against a tier 1 army. And I'm surprised. I wonder if TeD has now started attacking quite a while ago actually, whereas Grubby has not. And so if TeD can hold this out for a bit longer, he can probably just win it in terms of attrition, or he could even go for something like Gargs, and Grubby wouldn't really have any response to it. I mean, he'd have a couple headhunters, but nothing significant. And Grubby just using this healing fountain so well. Obviously, it's between sort of the 2 places where he has had bases, and so he's just always been able to use it quite well. And almost level 5 and getting close to level 6 as well on the blade master. And if he did manage to get level 6, that'd be very important. But blade master just doing so much damage here. Obviously, just hitting and running and then healing, because with the combination of the salves and the healing fountain, you can heal up really quickly and then come back, and with a couple circlets and stuff like that, you can really do a lot of damage. And Grubby popping a speed troll just to get that 1 kill on the fiend and then get out quickly as well. And tier 2 now for TeD, and I imagine he'll go for Death Knight second, maybe put up a slaughterhouse. We'll have to see what he does. And more headhunters coming up for Grubby now. Maybe he doesn't just want to have Gargs produced, because obviously between a graveyard and a crypt. TeD already has all the required technologies, and so that'd be you can get out your first Garg so quickly, which you see obviously very frequently against Elf. But I guess in this case it could work versus Grubby, considering that Grubby doesn't have the required tech for Bat Riders. And meanwhile, Grunt's just sort of running around. Obviously there's no real point to creeping anymore, because Grubby doesn't have a second hero, and this hero is over level 5. And Grubby just taking out these fiends sort of so easily, and a nice crit there for Grubby as well, getting him even closer to level 6. And Grubby now teching as well, so I think it would only be a matter of time now. I think TeD sort of threw this game away in a sense. I mean, he still has the possibility to win, but it's going to be a lot harder for him than it was, say, 10 minutes ago. And Grubby now salving and clearing up, and he is invisible. But I wonder if TeD has bought another dust. No, he hasn't. TeD generally buys a lot of dust, but he hasn't in this game really. I guess because his economy has been so stretched by producing all the fiends. And TeD now teching to tier 3 actually as well. So maybe he wants an orb, which is fairly sensible to reduce the massive armor of Blade Master, which is like 8.2 at the moment, which is just so much damage reduction. It's unreal. And Death Knight is coming out for TeD, and it's going to be out any second. It might actually be out early enough to save this fiend. But and it does. But Grubby does speed troll just to get out, and he is such a massive tier 1 army now that TeD's really going to find it hard to continue fighting in this game. I think he really needs. Is that a slaughterhouse there? Yeah, there's a slaughterhouse. So couple statues, and then later on, Destros would be quite nice in this situation. But by that point, Grubby might have a bit of tier 2 out. He might have a couple of raiders, which will be sort of a very nice counter, especially raiders and grunts counter fiends so well, because you can just ensnare them, and then the grunts can just pound on them, and there's not really much you can do because your unholy aura can't come into effect. And TeD only with 3 fiends now. He had so many and a bunch of grunts as well, but no more it seems. And Grubby now rebuilding his altar, so I guess he's gonna go for a second hero. I'd say Shadowhunter would probably be the best bet, because he's not going to really have time to creep up a Torrent Chieftain. But Torrent Chieftain certainly could be viable, because Stomp is so nice against Fiends if you can get the positioning, which Grubby usually can. And obviously Death Knight being focused down first is such an obvious target, because it's the only thing that really can't be healed in this army. And without the aura as well, it's so easy to chase down by Blade Master with boots and a bit of mana as well.